I released some videos a few weeks back on hypopressive exercise, and I've received a question from one of the viewers asking about this sensation, the connection between the pelvic floor and the diaphragm, because she has tried and she didn't feel any activation. And I believe that maybe I didn't do a good enough job of explaining how to actually get that apnea. So I've thought long and hard about it to try and come up with a way that we can actually test so that you can feel the apnea yourself. So with hypopressive exercise, the way that you get your apnea is you breathe all the air out of your lungs. So you start with a deep inhale, you expand the lungs, and then you exhale. And when all the air is gone from your lungs, you have to hold your breath. So you hold the breath out and you hold it here at your throat. And then you relax the rib cage and that opens it a little. And then once you get that feeling of apnea, you can send the ribs more out to the side and everything will draw upwards and inwards. But if you haven't done it before, and if you haven't really worked on this antagonistic relationship between your pelvic floor and your diaphragm, then a very, very neat little way where you can feel this connection for yourself is to breathe your air out, hold your nose, close your mouth, and try to breathe in. And when you try to breathe into your empty lungs, this will give you that lift. It will give you that feeling in your pelvic floor. Now it's best to do this either lying down or sitting, as I am now, and I'm going to demonstrate. So watch, you may see a little bit of an apnea, maybe not as much apnea as I would get if I weren't holding my nose, but you should see some level of an apnea. So I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, I'm going to hold my nose, and I'm going to try to breathe in, and you should see apnea. You might see it here, you may see it along here, or you may see it around the back. So I'll take a couple of breaths before I start because I've been talking a lot and it's not really so good to do this if you haven't taken a few deep breaths before you start. So maybe you saw my lips turn blue. No, hopefully not. Maybe you saw there was a little bit of an apnea. If you do this and you hold your nose, you should feel a little bit of a lift up. What very often happens when people start to do hyperpressive exercises and they have to hold the breath out, they exhale all the air out and then they hold a little bit of air in the nose and in the back of the throat instead of actually holding it out from the throat. And this means that when they're trying to get the apnea, there's air in the way. So it's really, really important that you empty everything and that you close here without sucking extra air back in before you do your hyperpressive